some friends of mine were like memeing, like putting your bio like the M&S killer and like you made him bench after the game. So
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another NLC interview here with Esports News UK. This time I'm joined by Bifrost mid laner Furuy. Furuy, how's it going?
hello, yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very good, thanks. I just wanted to start the conversation off about the mid lane pool in the NLC because I had a discussion with CJ from Riddle. I don't know if you would know him, but
Yeah.
in spring of this year, and the discussion was around you being the best mid laner in the NLC, and this was before anything had happened this split. And I was kind of the one going against it, to be fair, saying we had like Tempt, M&S coming in. But I'd say that it maybe had an argument, and over the year, I think you've kind of cemented yourself now as one of the top ones. So, how would you maybe rank yourself amongst the mid lane pool this year?
So if I'm like looking back at spring, I think the competition was not really that big of mid lane. It was mostly M&S and Tem that was competing. I think the other mid laners was like not really high up there. I think like Backland, for example, is showing a lot of improvement this split. Because I feel like this split, I think the level of mid laners is a lot higher than last split. I feel like in every playoffs team, all the mid laners are like good and consistent. If you look back at the series of Astralis and Riddle, I think both mid laners played pretty well, and like I mean, sadly one of them could win, but yeah, I think the mid lane pool is pretty high to split. I would like rate myself still like, I mean, I don't really like to rate myself. I think I just do my stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm consistent in most games, and I can carry games on but more agency champions that people kind of know, like Silas, Akali, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
champions. But yeah, I don't really like rating myself. I just do my best, like every split, and see how far I can go.
Yeah. Well, that's fair enough. And just kind of on the topic of mid lane as well, we mentioned, I guess M&S being one of the top ones too, and it was kind of a unique scenario, I guess, where obviously we know now that he's ended up removed from XL, at least benched for now.
Yeah.
But your game against him was essentially the last game that he played. So was there kind of a feeling of like, I literally got M&S benched, or what?
I mean, yeah, like some friends of mine were like memeing, like putting your bio like the M&S killer, and like you made him bench after the game. So I mean, there was some memeing going on, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, I think it's a bit sad that he got benched. I mean, I don't know, like the whole situation. There's probably good reasons why he got benched, but he was like by far the best mid laner as like mechanical, and he was like really good, and it was really nice to play against him to learn stuff as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I mean, I think it's also for XL a really big hit that they miss him, and maybe and like I hope for Torok that they can improve for at least AM Masters. I think for players
Mm-hmm.
it will be a bit harder.
Yeah. We talked about then that obviously spring started off really good. You guys end up going
Mhm.
to E Masters and your first time there. What was
Yeah.
that like? Even just like as a learning experience, kind of how did you find the level stepping up to E Masters compared to where you say that the spring pool wasn't that great, at least in the mid lane in the NLC?
Uh, I think if I like look back at the spring split, yeah, for like most of our players, when we came in into AM Masters and like the full one, I think in the end everyone was really exhausted and a bit like, I mean, burnout is like a big word, but
Mm-hmm.
we had like a full split plus we scrimmed 1st of December, so it was like already a really long split before AM Masters. So in play-ins we had kind of hard time, and we kind of got a reality check that we are not good at all. So it was actually really good that we could have played play-ins, because
Mm-hmm.
I think if we went instant to main stage, we would not get first place. I think for our team it was really important to get the games in.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was like really nice learning experience for that. And then coming into the group stage, I mean, no one expected us to go even first place or second. Not even myself. I said like, if we can get third place or like put up a good fight against BDS and Fnatic, I would be like happy.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went like 5-1, so I was like, I mean, I was really happy and really surprised that happened. And then like coming into quarterfinals, it was the series felt just like X7 again. It went literally the same as for me. For example, the first game it was I played like really bad and that kind of stuff, and like the second, third game we could have won, but we had like hard times closing the game.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the finals all over again for my feelings. But it was a nice learning experience. I learned that I kind of needed to find a bit more balance with like playing because I felt really exhausted throughout the AU Masters
Hmm.
experience.
Is that something that you've actioned now then in terms of sort of working out that balance, I suppose?
Yeah, for example, this split we took it in the first week a bit slower because we only had 2 weeks break, and we also needed to do tryouts for jungle support
Hmm.
like 3 days after A Masters. So like there was not really a break.
Yeah.
So like the first weeks in summer we kind of had like, I played not a lot of solo queue and that kind of stuff, and just try to get the momentum in playoffs. I mean, sadly, like we're out, but I think I found a pretty good balance in that.
Hmm. That's cool. And then, so having that taste for E Masters, then does that make you sort of even more determined to get back there and even do better next time?
Yeah, of course. Like also seeing that NLC get 3 spots and then like not making
Hmm.
it even feels worse or something, because you have like an extra spot, right? You have more chance.
Hmm.
So I mean, yeah, of course I wanna like get back into it, but I think like everything that happens in your career is like a learning experience you can get more out of.
Yeah. Well, then, yeah, you kind of alluded to it there. Then that obviously not made E Masters, having gone out of the playoffs this week. Just how would you rate summer in general? So you've ended up, still making to playoffs,
Hmm.
but then you've gone out to X7, wasn't it, in the first week?
Yeah,
And I guess it's kind of you've ended up against a team that was, in the lower end of the playoffs, but they're clearly on an upswing. So it's,
yeah.
almost maybe is it hard to feel too down about that? Kind of what are your feelings around it in general?
Um, yeah. So like for the summer, I think the first 6 weeks we were actually like third place, second place with that kind of stuff. Though. But we had like, I mean, against the week, against Singularity, and the match before we played really bad and we lost against Singularity as well as like the first team. So I mean, it was like a pretty bad week for like us as a team and as players,
Hmm.
and we got like a reality check after that. And then after that week, we improved actually quite a lot. It was when we played against Excel and M&M, where we like almost had a perfect game against M&M, but like OD died sadly. So, but I think we had like really good improvement in there.
Hmm.
But we kind of had in the last week and in playoffs before that we kind of slack, not really slack, but our issues came back, and it was a bit hard to like really improve them in such a short amount of time.
Right. Then what do you think? Like you're saying that maybe there's some issues you guys had identified, um, and obviously you guys did have the changes from spring to summer. So what do you think it was that meant that the tweaks that had to happen? Obviously, not necessarily that you guys wanted to make changes or not. Um, but then what do you think meant that those couple of changes did end up sort of sliding down a bit rather than maybe pushing on and being better this split?
Uh, I think what mostly changed for like the core that stayed for Shikari and me is that, and Odie, right? That our playstyle was completely different compared like this split compared to last split.
Hmm.
Because last split we were mostly not doing a lot early game and then scaling into mid game and looking to team fight. And this time we had Diamond Box that is really aggressive early game.
Hmm.
And then our mid game was a bit worse. So we needed to adapt our playstyle a lot. I think some issues came into there, and I mean, I don't want to go like too much into details,
Hmm.
right, about all the issues that we had. It's like that
Yeah.
all happened, but I think like Highway is also he's a rookie, right? I mean, compared to Dewey, he's like 7 years of experience. So
Hmm.
we try to implement that with Diamond being a leader, having the experience, and yeah, that was like our goal that they can match well. And I mean, as a team, we kind of failed in that.
No worries. Um, so then, given that obviously success in spring, still made playoffs in summer, how would you just wrap up the season as a whole?
I mean, if I just look back at the whole year, I mean, I cannot be sad, right? Like hitting AM Masters, going quarterfinals, what no one expected. It's like it feels really good,
Hmm.
and I was really happy. I mean, then like summer was a disappointment, but I I'm never really like that sad about stuff that happens with defeats, because I mean I can be sad all day about it, but in the end you just need to keep moving on. Like so like I'm fine, and hopefully like there's a winter tournament, we can like hopefully show up in that stuff as well.
Cool. Then what's the aim for next season? Is it just kind of keep going forward? Because I feel like, you know, obviously you had a good decent year last year with Singularity as well, so it's kind of that upward
Yeah.
trajectory. So just to kind of crack on with that and keep improving.
Yeah, I mean I'm always looking to like improve. I've already played in NLC quite quite long. So I mean I think I played longer in NLC than in my own region. But yeah, I mean of course I'm like looking at the bigger leagues, where like I really wanna look to play in LVP or LFL, because I feel like the improvement there, or for myself I can make like a lot more improvement, and I really wanna move like outside of my house as well for once. So I think there's like more offers in that kind of areas. But yeah, I'm always looking to like go higher up.
Cool. Now then, just one or two things to touch on. How do you see the playoffs panning out now then? So obviously you've got through with X7 and Astralis as kind of the next
Yeah.
game in the lower bracket, and then Dusty and JDXL at the top. How do you see those matching up?
So I'll just start with like Excel against Dusty. I would say Dusty just 3-0s them if Excel doesn't fix the issues they had in the last week. They have like 2 weeks almost of time, so maybe they can fix some stuff, but I think they need a lot more time to fix. So I'm expecting Dusty to just 3-0 them. And then for Astralis X7, um, I'm probably expecting like a 3-1 for X7, even though I think Astralis played pretty well yesterday, and I did not expect them to win against Riddle. For sure, after the first game, when they threw it really hard, I thought like this game is over. It's gonna be a 3-0 with like how hard they threw, but they kept their mental strong. So I mean, I think X7 will win, but I think it will actually be a pretty close best of 5.
Let's see. Yeah, and then just finally, then, is there any kind of final words you had for anyone out there, or anyone's been watching and following Bifrost or yourself?
I mean, I always want to like thank my dad, right? He's in like every
Fan for
game I'm
LOL.
watching. Yeah, fan for LoL. Shout out to him. He's like the Furuy fan club. So, um, I mean, I just wanna give a shout out to like my teammates and the whole Bifrost experience for so far. It was a good experience, and I'm still like enjoying my time. And of course, like shout out to the fans.
Cool. Well, yeah, that wrap it up then. So thanks for joining me, Fury. And yeah, good
No
luck.
problem.
Good luck next season, I suppose. And
Thank
yeah,
you.
thanks everyone for listening.